Hey, so in this video I'm going to be making bath bombs, specifically blackberry scented sphere bath bombs. I should point out before we get into this that I don't make bath bombs much, therefore I don't have a dehumidifier. I picked this week to make them as the humidity in my workroom was around 50%, so I went with it and they've air dried in the same room. If you're planning on making a lot of bath bombs for yourself, your friends or as a business, I'd advise in getting a dehumidifier as yours will look a lot prettier than mine. This recipe is designed to give you lots of lovely foam as well as the usual fizz. This involves SLSA, which should be used very carefully and with a respirator. So if this is something that you want to be making with your kids, then I suggest either pre-mixing in the SLSA before they get involved, or you can swap it out for cornstarch. There's a full blog to go with this recipe linked below, so check that for tips and substitutions. With that said, let's get on with making them. I've made a 200 gram batch which will make you approximately 1 to 2 bath bombs depending on mould size, and first you will need 60% 120 grams of bicarbonate of soda, this is the fizz. Then you need 30% 60 grams of citric acid, you want the fine granular stuff, and this is your activator. Then you want 2% 4 grams of SLSA. See the blog notes for this. It is not the same as SLS, and this is what makes it foam loads. Then we've got 2.5% 5 grams of sweet almond oil. This gives the bath water that lovely luxurious feel. Then you'll need 1% 2 grams of polysorbate 80. There's no substitute for this. You need it to solubilise the oil in the bath water, else you'll get that horrible oily ring around the tub. Then you need 2.5% 5 grams arrowroot powder. This gives a nice texture and it's good for the skin. You can sub this for cornstarch or kaolin powder if you prefer. Then we've got our fragrance oil, 1.5% 3 grams. I'm using my blackberry fragrance oil. You can use any fragrance you like, but make sure you check the IFRA for the allowed amount. Then you'll want some colour. Use up to 1.5%, 1 gram, either mica or pigments. Be careful how much you use because pigments are much stronger than micas, so you generally use a little bit less. You don't want them to be staining the baths and your customers. Okay, so get your bowl of bicarb, and to that add your SLSA and your arrowroot or whatever you've substituted that for, and mix that all together just with your hands with some gloves. You can use a mixer with sort of like a dough attachment if you want to, but I find it works just as well with your hands, and obviously if you're making this with kids they're going to want to get their hands in it. Then you need to add all your wet ingredients, so your polysorbate, your sweet almond oil and your fragrance oil, and then just kind of rub that together into the powder mix and just keep going until it's sort of like wet sand kind of texture. Once it looks something like this, you can add your citric. We didn't want to add this earlier because we don't want it to activate too early. So once you've added that, just kind of mix it in and then separate it into the number of bowls for the number of colours you've got. I've got 2, and then just throw in your pigment and mix that in by hand. I'm just doing this with one hand so you can actually see what I'm doing. But yeah, just mix that in until it's fully incorporated. Can of course keep one part of it white if you want. You don't have to add colour, but it's nice because it gives off the nice colourful foam when you put it in the bath. So drying spheres means that they need to stay not on a flat surface, because otherwise you'll flatten the bottom of them. So I've got a muffin tray and I just kind of put cling film over that and lay them in that to stop them flattening on the bottom. And then get your mould. I've got these, I think I got them from Amazon, and just fill and compact each half as well as you can. And then once you've done that on both sides, add extra to one side, just sort of pile it up, and then you can push your moulds together, but do not twist it. If you twist it, you'll separate it and it will come apart. So just push it together and keep it in one position, and then just tap it on your table just all the way round, and then your mould should just come away very well, and you'll have a spherical bomb that doesn't come apart. And then just put that in your muffin tray with cling film to dry, and it should take probably a day, maybe a bit longer to dry, so long as you've got the right kind of humidity. So let's test these out. I'm just doing this in a sink because I don't have much space, and as you can see, it foams quite a lot. I'm holding it up so that you can see better, and yeah, if you use cornstarch instead of the arrowroot, it does help it float. Floating isn't something you necessarily have to have, but it's quite nice. And there you go, it turns the water different colours. Okay, so that's our bath bomb recipe. Like I mentioned earlier, check out the blog links below for a written version and for all our tips and substitutions. Remember to like, subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss my next video. I really appreciate it. And if you want access to exclusive recipes, more regulatory and business support, then check out Patreon, link below, where I can also offer one-to-one mentoring. You can see on my Instagram, Raviga Cosmetics, link below for client results. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.